Trekyards. Trekyards, this is Captain Foley requesting permission to land.
Open the damn doors! This isn't Discovery. They're not open yet. No, you have to press the button. Yeah. Okay, yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, come
Yay, thank you. Thank you, Commander Cockings. Permission to come aboard, sir.
Dock in berth 46 of this giant hangar bay.
Oh, yes. That's the other thing.
Or is it?
Hi, guys. Yeah, we're here to talk about the Strange New Worlds Enterprise Shuttle Bay as seen in those old scientists episode, Cortex Crossover.
We finally got it. It's been a giant question mark, just as the Discovery's main engineering is. We've still not seen it. All the sets of will they ever see it? The TOS one is so distinct. We finally got it. It is a blink and you'll miss it kind of set, given they spend the rest of the scene in the interior. But if you freeze frame it, Trekyards can talk about it. And luckily, modern video players allow you to freeze frame things. So we're here, Stuart. But what was your first reaction at the shot? Because it's a cool shot.
First time, I didn't even notice or care. Second time, I'm like, God, that thing is cavernous. That thing is like the whole secondary hull, pretty much. It's just large, and there's so many shuttles in there. Shuttles and Enterprise hangar bays have always been a bit of an issue for size. They can't really fit in as many as they say they can, but then they have like the elevators that hide them down below. Whatever, it's fine. This one, you get a good shot of the interior of it as you pan up, and it goes all the way up past the engine struts. I mean, the refit did the same thing. The engine struts kind of are right at the. So I mean, I get what they're doing. It just looks like that's all the secondary hull, pretty much.
Yeah, going straight to that second picture. I mean, yeah, if you take the last frame, I mean, it looks nice level of detail. Obviously, they had to up detail the landing bay bit, which was never this nice. I like it. Force field now in the rings. That was nice. That was a fun touch. I'm surprised how dark it is. It's really important for this thing to be lit, and it's being exclusively lit by the. Because you can tell there's no ceiling light because you can see the back wall and there's nothing coming down. So it's just being lit by the sides and maybe something to. Oddly dark.
Yeah. Well, the next shot where you're a little closer, you see like the lights along the floor on the sides, but
that's what I mean. That's the only thing lighting it, which is odd because the should be bright.
Well, one can assume that it's like after hours. It's but still, it's an operational hangar deck. So much so that shuttles are launching while they're having a discussion.
Shuttles launching.
So yeah, it doesn't make sense to be quite as dark. But
because that confused you, I remember in the review. Like we're on a time planet doing a scan. There's nothing going on. Why is a shuttle launching in the middle of the episode?
Yeah, why are multiple shuttles launching? Because one comes out, and then as they're talking, another one like rumbles by like it's an aircraft carrier deck. It's like, okay.
Because dramatic. But yeah, let's zoom in because you can get more clarity if you zoom in. I have up the brightness to try and capture the detail. How do you feel? Because we know what the old one looks like. We'll compare in a second. But what's your gut feeling on this design-wise?
I think design-wise, they did a fantastic job of making it feel like the original one with the ribbing on the sides and the lighting and even the windows. You can see the windows along the back, like the upper deck, which aren't lit up again. There's nobody in there. But there's a lot of storage space for shuttles. I mean, the original one, the Galileo would come in, turn around, like land, and then turn around on the turntable, right? There was room for like one. And maybe a work bee or two. This one is just, we see 5 shuttles there, and one just launched as well. So, and we know that the tail fin, like the staging area at the back, is a lot longer on this one than it is the original one. But still, that's a lot of. It doesn't work scaling wise for me, honestly.
Yeah, design wise, I think it's rather nice, except the lack of lighting on the top. I think that would have helped it pop. That kind of contrast. I'm guessing that to the side, to the left side, those kind of beams. I'm assuming those aren't trying to be berths that ships go in. Those are just structural beams because that's the edge of the ship. There's no other space, I assume.
Well, yeah.
The shuttle wouldn't fit in there. There's no space.
You can't. You can tell by the hull that that's not the case. I mean, when we did our video on the work bees, the refit has like work bee docking bays there. So like enough for a work bee to dock in there, but maybe that.
I mean, there could be dot bays, if and when they use dots. So it feels like a dark aircraft carrier version of the TOS one. The fact that there's clearly, so I'm sure you can park on those strips of light, 6 shuttles wide, 7 shuttles wide. I mean, that thing, if you're in an emergency, could easily have 15, 16 shuttles parked. It sucked to obviously land them, but there's plenty of space. And remember, these also are significantly bigger shuttles. These aren't just TOS boxes, these are much wider, and the nacelles are wider. So this is already, the fact that these shuttles feel small in this bay, I can't imagine this is scaled to the correct scale of the Enterprise based on Stranger Worlds. This feels like they actually made the bay bigger for this shot, because this feels like a J.J. Abrams almost scale. Like they've made the shuttles smaller, because I would have thought that the shuttles would be actually similar to TOS. You've scaled the shuttles, you scale the bay, comes equals themselves out. I'm kind of shocked how it feels like it's tiny, but that's not the
Yeah. Well, it's very JJ-esque, as you said, because when we first see the shuttle bay of the Enterprise in JJ films, it also takes up the entire secondary hull pretty much. Like there's actually slots for shuttles in the sides of that one,
which I was kind of expecting to see in these detailed shots. A second, a ring of a line of pads at the top, which would make sense. That's why it's so tall, because it is a very thing. But yeah, it's the entire secondary hull up to the pylons. There must be understorage, because otherwise it goes further in, and then the entire secondary hull. I don't know if they're really caring about this for this show. This show's more about flair than logic. Matt Jeffries, was careful. He designed stuff to make sense. So let's go into that. This is the actual TOS Enterprise Shuttle Bay. We haven't got a shuttle in there yet for scaling. Now, these two side by side, without a real tangible scale indicator, the TOS one does feel cavernous. I think that's fair to say, from the rawness of the design.
Yeah, without a shuttle in there, it's you could say that these are just the same size, honestly.
Just wider, Stranger Worlds. Clearly that's wider.
Yeah, like upper lighting would have been great. I don't know why they made it so dark.
Oh,
because the TOS one looks
atmosphere.
So good.
I mean,
yes. Sneaking around with a flashlight.
And I would have been fine if they had actually had it be after hours, all the shuttles were off, as you'd said, and you just saw this, a lineup of 5 shuttles in the bay, and he was walking through the LED wall to the shuttle set, and like that would have been fine. But the movement makes that an irrelevancy. It's not night mode. It's not safe to do night mode with all the lights off, etc.
But regardless, this isn't wartime. They're around a planet with a portal, launching shuttles for some reason, which we never see on the surface of the planet. So I don't know why they're launching them. So there's no reason to have night operations mode like that. But anyway, it's kind of silly. But yeah, it is for just atmospheric effect, and to, show them sneaking around. But it was cool to see other shuttles launching, honestly, and kind of as they're in the one shuttle, the other shuttle like cruise on by and have a bit of a rumble and a shake to the shuttle. That was kind of neat. But again, I think it felt more like an aircraft carrier than, I don't think the shuttles would actually cause that kind of rumble and quake as they went by,
Yeah, effect, right? It's all effect. The next shot, though, because they never actually show the reverse bay door in TOS, that was an extrapolation years later, which then everyone's basically utilised the same basic concept. So, this is a chap's miniature. This is the shot we actually saw in TOS, obviously, the reverse angle looking out of the miniature, and now in scale with the shuttle. Stuart, why is the ceiling so tall on the TOS Connie? That feels cavernous. Or does it? You tell me.
It's a good question. You've thrown me for a bit of a loop. I don't know. So that the shuttles can come in and they don't have to come down at deck level. They can actually have room to maneuver in there. Yeah, they actually made it, I think, a little bit bigger for the remastered than it would actually be in the ship. I think they kind of took some liberties with that. But hey, it's fine.
I know it's the unremastered version. This is the raw miniature shot. Because, it's definitely big, right? It isn't 5 shuttles width big. It is pretty tall, though, but clearly at least wider. At least substantially wider.
Yeah, maybe you get 3 in there side by sides.
Yeah, I think you could. They couldn't move. but you could.
Yeah. Well, even in Star Trek 5, when they show the shuttle bay in that, I think there's a shuttle sitting at the side, and then there's the one that crashes, obviously. I don't know. Shuttle bays have always been iffy on Star Trek ships, especially the Enterprise. So they're just maintaining that tradition, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's honestly the case. They can fudge it because everyone fudges it slightly. I'm kind of missing, though, those side protruding relay room, comm tower rooms on the edge. That I think would have helped the design connect even further. Because currently it just feels like there's structural ribs into the back wall, and then they're just blank. Like, we know they're rooms, but a non-fan would just see them as details. Like, there's no semblance of the constructed watch areas. Without knowing what those windows are, that they're windows, you wouldn't think those are windows. You wouldn't see the side. I wish they had a bit more of those details in, because they're there for a reason, right? Removing them, would be nice they're there. The next view, though, is the remastered versions, which of course, made them first time in CG, up-detailed them, put people in the windows, put rooms in them, etc. Did add a few more things, still the same base detail, but now with more going on. Now your thoughts.
Now, okay, so the remastered got the sizing more accurate, I think. Yeah, because you see the shuttle bay on the turntable there, and you could maybe fit 2 side by side. 3 might be a little bit of a hassle, but you can see one parked there as well. It's much more a realistic scale, I think.
And just lens choice as well. In a miniature, they'd use a wide angle. Here, they can be a bit more creative with their lenses.
That's true too.
But yeah, definitely substantially bigger. Like I said, wide is the big deal.
Yeah, because the Galileo is smaller than the Strange New World shuttle. And if you compare the two, it's like, look at the size of those Strange New World shuttles, and then all of the extra room that's in that bay. Wow. It really speaks to the size of the Enterprise.
But the next shot, though, is the Franz Joseph technical manual side view to give you a sense of actual scaling.
This one doesn't have the elevators for the storage underneath. Because remember when Doug Drexler did his cutaway of it, you could see just 4 parked down below. Interesting.
Still pretty cavernous. But
it is, yeah.
As you said, you would want bonus headroom. Fundamentally, that's really, really important.
Yeah, for maneuvering and stuff, or for bigger shuttles that are coming in. Because they're not always Federation shuttles that'll be coming in. That's the other thing, right?
I mean, they were most of the time impulse-only basic shuttles just for planetary, whatever. They were uncomplicated, yeah. So as you bring any more advanced shuttle in, it's going to take more space. But it would be interesting, certainly, because you could very, very easily label off exactly where that shuttle bay ends on this Connie, on the Stranger Worlds Connie. And you can use a scale chart from Discovery it was produced, so you could very, very quickly work out the scale difference in these 2 bays. Maybe that'll have to be a future episode.
Yeah, it would also be fun at some point to take a look at the refit shuttle bay as well, because it's kind of a stepped approach. Got the landing deck, and then it's got 2 other decks. It goes very, very close to engineering, because engineering is right behind it, essentially. At least we got a good glimpse at it. It would be cool to see it from on the deck, looking out the back doors, kind of thing, at some point as well. But it was a great shot, and I don't think you're supposed to overthink it necessarily. But of course, we like to take a look at the details.
Well, it's one of the few rooms of the Strange Worlds Connie, etc. I would say it's sort of 60% there. In the acknowledgement, they're going to just change stuff because they want to, right? Bring it a bit closer, and at the very least, have the red and yellow of the lift. Simple things, right? Simple things. But there you go. New Shuttle Bay. Question answered.
Awesome. Well, guys, what did you think of this? Do you have anything else to add to it? By all means, comment down below and subscribe to the channel, obviously. And you don't want to miss any content from us, so please make sure you click that notification bell icon to all and help us out by watching all the videos.
All of them. Go now. We'll see you in 4 or 5 years.
It's a lot of content.
4 or 5 more years to catch up on. Okay, we'll see you in 9 years. Then you'll be finally up to date. In which case, hello for future you. And hello for future you watching this then, now. Hi. But if, when you're then, now, here, or anywhere, you can donate to help this channel keep going, do what we want to do what you guys want to see us do that no one else is doing, because who else is going to do it? It's us. This is what we do, right? Patreon, it is monthly. Any support goes a long way. Or join the channel, same thing. But on YouTube. Or super chatting via live. You click the button. You move the options. You give. We say thank you. You put your thoughts in. It's amazing. Or super thanks on any video. Like we said. Go like a 2029 video. Go like a 2013 video. The choice is yours.
So until next time, we'll be shuttling off and we'll see you guys later. He is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
Bye, everybody.